Hey, GutFoxx here. Today we're gonna try and look at how to stop 0-1 trap, strong power, and counter. We'll start off with 0-1 trap here. Today's sponsor are words that sound dirty but aren't, like shuttlecock. So with 0-1 trap, what I like to do is have somebody rate directly over that center, and then somebody over both guards. So if you're really getting beat up by this, right there, see how I shifted that guy over the center, so he can't down block and open up a big hole. And then my linebacker, I'm able to sneak through there basically, because that defensive tackle actually ended up taking a double team there for me. But yeah, so anything really that jams up the middle. I mean, you could pinch the line, but I don't really love pinch lines because you open yourself up to outside runs. So I just shift the line over, and then I slant it the other way. So I shift right, slant left there, and use your linebacker there. See, I was in inside hip of that guard. Basically, you're able to follow that pulling guard and not get picked up by the center or the tackle and make a play in the backfield if that works out for you. So here's that not user controlled. The middle linebacker kind of sits back because he goes in the zone, but then makes a play on the second guard over. So like if you keep watching here, there the tackle was able to down block on me when I just let the computer control it, and you will get that from time to time, but that frees up the other outside linebackers there. So see, look how stacked their line is. They don't really have great blocks to make, like with that trap play, because of the way it's set up there with me stinking up the middle. So like whenever I call like an 0-1 trap and I see even like nickel wide 9 with the two linebackers in the center that eventually drop, that just messes up the whole 0-1 trap, because you get two guys in those A gaps along with two defensive tackles in the B gap, so that's 4 defenders on 3 offensive linemen. No matter who they trap, they're kind of getting messed up in the middle. So yeah, you kind of just want to jam the middle to stop this 0-1 trap. So this is just out of the 4-3 base, a good way of stopping it, but there are other ways if you just clog the middle here. So we'll let it run for a couple more just to show they can pick up. I mean, every play does pick up some yardage. There was 3 yards, so not terrible. I mean, but whatever. I guess let's move on to strong power and counter. So strong power and counter are pretty interesting. A lot of it has to do with the way the tackle blocks on your A gap, and a lot of the way the offensive line, AI works in this game. So here's just a normal unmoved strong power. So not terrible, 4 yards or whatever, not as bad as it could be. But here's where we look through the replay and see why this works so well. So if you look at that tackle and my defensive tackle, so watch him and watch who blocks him. So he's between the center and the guard. The tackle blocks him. That's a suction block. This is why everybody hates man's blocking system. There's no way a tackle should be able to get that defensive tackle. In real life, that wouldn't happen. And then the center is able to release out to the middle linebacker to get a good block on him there. See this? Free release to the middle linebacker. And that's why now you have more blockers than you do defenders because of this purpose. More blockers and runners because of that one guard. So I just get a nice block shed there, and the guy needs to be taken up again. So there's a few ways of handling strong power. Here I am in the base set. So what I do is base a line, and I should bring my other guy. So so this side of the field now has more defenders and blockers. As you can see, I'm in a cover 3. So there's really no crazy setup here. I pinched a line, and that's it. Base a line, pinch a line. And let's watch this power in action. So yes, my defensive tackle gets blocked by their tackle again, but I have two guys on the outside that were unblocked because of the base line. So here we go. Once more, base a line, pinch line, show it, and run it. So this works because you overload their side of the field, and that's how you stop runs in the NFL and in Madden. You have one more guy, then they can block. I know sometimes you get some bad blocking and they get twisted, but so he'd switch Boom. We hit it. So nothing terrible there. Next play, baseline, pinch.
Easy.
He actually switches the play. Now I'm showing it what's happening, going to go to the left. So this, the middle linebacker is able to get a free release, and they are overloaded on you. That's how they have more blockers than you do defenders. So that could be a problem at points. Here we go again. Get a nice block shot, but they still get 5 yards. So that's a weakness of the base line, is that they can power the other way. So if we don't base a line, we take it here, we shift our line right. So we leave it, we shift our linebackers out. And then we watch as we run the strong power if my earlier one didn't work for you. See how the tackle there came out to my middle linebacker and the center stayed on my defensive tackle? That makes the linebacker able to make the play in the center and get out. So the guards pull, but the tackle doesn't do anything of significance because he's chasing the middle linebacker who he's not able to get to. And there's the QB contains working to contain his outside run, so he's going to have to cut it up into the middle. And the benefits of those contains on the outside versus not is that if you get a rollout quarterback, you can contain him. And here we'll go through who blocks who. Center on my defensive tackle. Look at how that gives middle linebackers basically free. He gets a little shove there from the tackle. But yeah, you watch my defensive tackle take up their center. So they got one hat-on-hat tackle. But yeah, so my guy just makes a nice block shot there. But look, I got a corner, a safety coming down. And truly, if you're still having trouble with the strong powers after doing these small adjustments, move that free safety down into the box and just user him and let the linebackers roam on their own. And you should be able to do fine with it. Because the more guys in the box, the less chance I have. So you could play like a cover 2 invert and have the free safety in the box that way. If you really need more guys. But so this doesn't open us up to that weakness of the base line, whereas they have us overloaded left if we base a line. So this just shifts the defensive line in order to make sure their tackle has to reach the middle linebacker, which is darn near impossible even in Madden with these suction blocks, because the linebacker's going to be running and he's going to try to block him on the side, which is hard to do in real life and in Madden, to try to get in front of somebody on the side. But yes, once again, this is a lot easier to defend if you have a pretty decent user and you can recognize pulling guards. Like that play right there. My middle linebacker makes the play, but he basically has to make the play on this play because you don't have that many more defenders than they do blockers. You'll have at most one. So there, they had one blocker, but he missed me pulling around because I think the AI thinks tackle is supposed to get me, so that guard went to the corner. I don't know if that was his low awareness or that was just who he predetermined to block. So user needs to make that. This is one of my favorite plays as I was using when I was testing, and then my linebacker goes flying out. But I realize I'm starting to ramble now. I just have much more footage than I needed, and I'm sorry for the video taking so long, but here's where we switch to the counter. So I go back to the original method I used, which was the pinch line, base a line on the strong power. So this did not work that first time, and this is why that base line on the strong power could have some problems against them running left. So I do it again, and this time my defensive end is able to make the play with his fast. And we do have fast defensive ends in MUT now, smart ones too that can play the run. So this method is vulnerable to those quarterback keepers and rollouts, but the defensive end's able to make the play on the running back here. I don't know how consistent this will be in MUT, but it looks like the strongest one to use here against the counter, because he's able to get there and tackle the halfback in the backfield because he is left unblocked in the counter. So this is a good method for stopping it. But like before, if you have a rollout quarterback, you'll want those QB contains. So here we watch it. They have good blockers, but you're able to get from the backside to stop it with a fast defensive end, because they essentially and then watch their blocking too. Their tight end's able to reach your guy between the guard and tackle, which is an unrealistic block, and look for running to be overpowered again in Madden 16, but without the suction tackle, so it might be a little tougher. Eventually, if this is too much, you can always move a safety or two into the box here, and that will always help you, having more guys in the box. You can press your cornerbacks, and that's it. Let me know if this works for you guys, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.